Hello, large cap stock selection for swing trading. Well, we have a long list of growth large cap stocks, and we are going to see which one we can put in our watch list for 2026. The first one is LL. So we are going to use maximum monthly chart. That way you can see you can see pretty much the overall trend of this company stock. And the date is on the x-axis from the past to the present, and you have the price on the y-axis from 0 up. So we are looking at L here, and L by default, a good stock that we like to have in our watch list should have higher lows when it comes to the valley of the mountain. The valley of the mountain is the bottom of the mountain, or the bottom of the V's that you are seeing. You want to trace a route passing by those V, the bottom of those V, and you want that line to be uptrending, showing that you have higher lows. This low should be higher than this one, and so forth. And next, we are going to see the peak of the mountain. If it's getting taller and taller and taller and taller, we want those two things by default before we add that stock to our watch list. So let's see what lines we can trace here. We want to pass by the obvious V's, and by default we want the first two, this one and this one, if we can touch it. But sometimes this may not align well, so you just have to see the line that can touch most of those V's, and you can trace multiple ones. And right now this has multiple touch points. By default, it's going to be a valid line for us. It touched base with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 years ago. And then we are going to see what is going on at the top here. So I'm not sure what happened that we have this big growth here. Is around the recession of 2008, but then it took quite a bit of years before it was able to exceed it. But then during the pandemic, you have a big drop back. So it seems like those big events, economical crises, make it come back to this valley line. So it came back to it, and it started going up from there. So at this point, I don't know if I have a good pattern here that I can follow. We have this line that is like multiple years support line there. If we trace this one, it's going to be going up like this. And what I will say about this stock though is, if we will buy it, it's going up, this will be more like a short-term investment type of stock. And if we'll buy it, it's going to be at that valley line. When it's going to come back to it, we are not entirely sure, because it can continue up for years. You can count the years that it has been on the rise here before it pulled back. And when it pulled back 6 years ago, you can see it has been on the rise ever since. But this is more than 6 years, so it could take that many years before it might come back to this valley line again and start going up from here. So it is uptrending. So therefore, we will keep it as a short-term investment that we can purchase using swing trading strategy, buy around this valley line and just let it be. But again, there is quite a bit of growth here compared to this peak. It exceeded this peak quite a bit now, so there is a good growth. When it come back to the valley line and start going up, I didn't see much growth here compared to this one. But when it pull back and start going up from there, we are seeing quite a bit of growth in it. I'm not entirely sure what this company does. It's in insurance, but we can call it a short-term investment and have it there. And you might end up having two watch lists, one for investment, one for swing trading, because again we are looking for stocks that, let's take this one, that could reach it from the valley going up, could reach a peak within a year and a half and come back again, like every 2 years or so. Is repeating the cycle is what we want, not something that, you know, will take a decade to be done with one cycle. But that's why I think they could be good for short-term investment or long-term investment, depending on how you want to view it. I view long-term investment like buying it for, like, if you don't want to sell or something. But anyway, so let's see this one here. So we have this line that we trace. Let's see if we can trace some more. So this will be closer to it, so there is no point of tracing that, but we can activate this to see if we can get it closer. But it just seems to me that there is another one somewhere here. Okay, so when we are looking at this, we have valley lines. I will prefer this one, and then we have those mountains. So this one and this one here, this, and then it shoot up. It shoot up in 2024, and now it's on its way down. So, and is reaching a new high every 2 years or so. So therefore, it is, yeah, we are going to add it to our 2026 watch list, and we are going to choose this to be our entry point. But there is a chance it might try to go up from here, so we are going to hold on to this one and keep observing it. Or we can change the color for that one as well, and just know that there is a possibility it might start going up from there. But so that one will be added to it. So we can just put what? Okay. And the next one is FNF. So FNF, we can see higher mountain there. Let's see if we can see higher valley. So we have this valley. Let's see this one. I don't want to go that low there. Let's try. And we have this one as well. So now let's look at the mountain here. So when it reached its peak here, it took a while before it exceeded, just linger around the support line here, and from that point it has been on the rise for years before it pulled back to this valley line again, went up, pulled back, and went up. But it's not touching base with the valley. It's not really respecting the valley line in a pattern way that I will rely on, because here it didn't really touch base with it and start going up. So that means there is a chance when it pull back, it may not touch base with it before going up. If we trace to touch this one, it touch base without. So that is pretty much a little support line there. If we try to trace one here, it could be following this one for the time being until it's done. But to buy it, we might buy it at either one of those. So, and about every 2 years it'll reach, it'll be done reaching a taller peak and pull back. So it has been on this rise for 2 years now. So it could well be on its way down. I'm not entirely sure. So we can add it to our watch list, and we know that we have value line that we can buy at, and it does reach a new high, and when it reaches we can sell it or see if we want to stay in the trade longer or not. So this one we can put okay as well. So CNA, last year I put no there. Let's see if this year we will change it. No, it does not look like we want to change it. Look at this support line. If I trace this support line from here, it's going to be somewhat horizontal. If I trace it from here, it does not even go anywhere there. So if I trace it from here, do you see the way we have, I mean to buy it, yeah, you might want to buy around this support line so that you do not get in too high a point. But my concern will be the exit. You can see that when you reach this peak, it took this number of years before it reached it again. For the whole time, it's coming back to the valley line or came close to it without reaching a peak. And then when it reached this peak, it was so many years ago, it has now reached it yet. But then it came back to that valley line, went up, and it's been doing that. So this will be more like a short-term type of investment, or maybe a long-term type of investment, where you strictly buy around the support line and know that is you are going to sell it when you reach a new high. And that new high could take 1 year, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, pretty much 10 years. You will be holding on to it for 10 years. When you buy around the valley line, you'll keep it for 10 years or so. And it can take 2 years for you to buy it again after that peak is reached. And when it reaches the peak though, it does not continue going up, it comes back down. And those peaks are about the same. You can see this peak and this one and this one. It barely exceeds the previous one. It does not really continue climbing up. It's like this one will be one that you'll have an horizontal line that you will say to yourself, you'll buy at that line and you'll sell it at that peak. It's like an horizontal line around the peak that you will sell it and not mind if it go climb it up or not, because you don't want to stay in the trade too long. And that would be a something in along that line. So if we trace, or if, because again you want to see that high, that new high, so pretty much you will say when the new high is reached, you are going to sell it. So it could be a little bit, because it's going to be higher than the previous one, it's going to be a little bit higher, wise. But in overall, it barely exceeds the previous peak, and then we'll pull back. So this will be one of those things that you get into this trade knowing that in advance. So now let's see the gap between those two. So if I put my mouse here, it's like $22, and here is $55. So that is how much difference there. $30 difference. So you'll buy around $22 or so, and sell it 10 years later to make $33 difference there. And that is something you have to see if you are okay with it. And there are stocks we purchased in 2024 and sold in 2025, and there are stocks we purchased in 2025 and sold in 2025. And I'm just looking at profit per share here. So when I'm looking at this, for instance, is MCK. We purchased it in January for $5.99. We sold it in March, 2 months later, less than 2 months later, for $6.45. And we made $45 profit per share. So if you can make $45 profit per share in a month and a half, do you want to wait 10 years to make $33 profit per share? That is a question you have to answer for yourself. If that's something you just want to buy and leave in your portfolio while you are waiting on it, that is fine. But just keep that in mind. And turns that it might be paying some dividend. Knowing that, I would prefer not to buy this stock. But just keep in mind that, yeah, it tends to fluctuate, within those type of dollar amounts every 10 years. So again, we are going to keep it as a no in our portfolio. But I think at least this time we can put it there that fluctuates between $22 and $55 every 10 years. Let's just keep it that way. Okay, so this one is RGA. So when you are coming across those stocks in your watch list and you are analyzing it, you can put those notes there so that when you come across again the reason why it's not in your watch list, you might read your own note to see what you saw back then that makes you, or that made you not adding it to your watch list, and see if you are seeing the same thing. By trying to touch base with the bottom here, I'm going across this one and I don't want to. So if I'm moving it to touch base with this one here, I'm now really touching those there. But I'm going to keep it like that. So when we are looking at this, it's going up. We have our valley going up as well. And when it reached this mountain peak, it took 1, 2, 3, 4 years to exceed it. 1, 2 years to exceed it, and it continued going up. So pretty much it has been on the rise for quite a bit of years, and then it pulled back. So again, the economical crisis makes it come back to the valley line, and then it will continue going up from there. So I don't know what this business does, but it tends to be on the rise, and economical crisis tend to shake it up and bring it back to the valley line. So that would be something we can buy and just have it in the portfolio until there is economical crisis. So is this something we are going to rely on? Because you cannot just sell it after a new high is reached, because it's going to be going higher and higher for a while, unless it's doing that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years growth there. Maybe there could be another 10 years of growth. It's not done yet. And knowing that though, if you want to buy, you could buy around this support line. But I just feel like it's a little bit risky because you won't know when it's done and will want it to come back down. So I would prefer, if I would buy it, to buy around either one of those support lines. So if we are looking at the value line here is 65 and it's 233. 233 minus 65 is 168 profit. Okay, 168 profit per share. Let's see here, 55 and 164. 164 minus 55. 164 minus 55, 101. So that's a good margin right there. So if you buy, here is 22, and you sell it, let's just say around somewhere here is 145. That is quite a bit of profit right there. For that reason, even though it can do this for 10 years before it will come back, that is something you might want to have in your watch list. And you know that when you buy, it's something you'll keep in your portfolio for about 10 years and then sell it, because you'll accumulate quite a bit of growth in it. So this, we are going to add it to it. But when we will buy it, we are not entirely sure. It could take some years. And we can highlight that one as well. And we can say, in fact, it will be good to put dates on that one. And we can say that over $100 profit per share from Valley to tallest peak, but takes about 10 years. And then we can put short-term investment there. So this concludes how we will analyze large cap stocks using maximum monthly chart to see the overall trend, to see if we are having higher lows at the valley line and if we are having higher peak at the peak. So, and then see how often is reaching a taller peak after it leaves the valley line, to see that something we can get in and get out within a year or two using swing trading strategy. That is the strategy we are using this year to pick stocks for 2026. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Thank you for your time, and thank you very much for all your comments. Thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and ninaso.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to make money. Just start small and grow your account from here. For more of swing trading tips or how you can create your own watch list, will you please check the playlist in the description of this video. And this video is brought to you by our online store, liberlabel.com. We have a tote bag that we listed recently. If you are in the market looking for a gift, will you please check it out. Thank you for your time.